Hey guys, it's Genevieve, and I am finally back from winter break. Second semester is about to start tomorrow, actually, but I wanted to film a video and kind of get back into the swing of things. So I am here today with a video showing you what I keep in my pencil cases. Now, I have two pencil cases that I used throughout my winter break, just because I had kind of a lot of, not a lot of stuff that I wanted to keep with me, but just enough stuff that I needed two pencil cases to keep everything separate and organized. So I'm going to be going through and giving you guys a tour of what I would typically keep in my pencil case when I'm, drawing or sketching or, just doing stuff in like my sketchbook or something. And I am nearly finished with this sketchbook, so a tour will be coming very soon, so be excited for that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for the intro, so let's get into what I keep in my pencil pouches. So this right here is my primary pencil case, let's just call it. The reason why this one is my primary pencil case is because it holds a lot of the basic supplies that I use. So things like sketch pencils, pens, regular pencils that I use for just writing stuff down, and things like that. There's nothing particularly like artsy, or, well, there is things that are particularly artsy because there's art supplies in here, but it's like, this isn't the pencil case that holds like the fancy stuff, or like, the brush pens or the alcohol markers or things like that. This is just pens and pencils and erasers and things like that. So that's why this is the one that I use the most often, because it has the supplies that I use on like a day-to-day basis rather than, every couple of days or whatever. So let's open it up. It's got like two compartments in it, so it's kind of a little bit bigger than some of the other pencil cases I've had. So here we have the two compartments. I think there's technically supposed to be a third one in this middle, but I don't really use it because if I use the middle one, then it makes it even clunkier than it usually is, so I just forego using it. So in this compartment right here, we have a wide array of colored pencils, some regular pencils, get back in there, a sharpener, and a chapstick, that's what it's called. Oh, and a couple of random paint brushes, but those aren't supposed to be in there. These right here are my Prismacolor Cool-Erase, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, sketch colored pencils. I really enjoy using these pencils because unlike regular graphite pencils, these pencils don't smudge as much when you're sketching. A big issue that I've always had whenever I was sketching is that I would always end up smudging some part of my sketch because the graphite in regular pencils is just so loose that I would like run my hand across it and then I would just have a smear across the page, and it used to annoy me so much. And that's one of the reasons why I would kind of avoid sketching, is because it annoyed me so much that I would smear my drawing and then I would spend hours trying to clean it up by erasing, and it would just, it would take me hours to do a single sketch because I would try and get it perfect and looking nice and neat, and it just annoyed the crap out of me. So I've been using these a lot recently, and I really recommend them. Like I said, they're the Prismacolor Cool-Erase, Col-Erase, whatever the hell they're, however the hell it's said, colored pencils. So yeah, they're not the wax colored pencils. These are actual like sketching pencils. So they're a bit easier to just do simple sketches with than the wax colored pencils. And then Pretty self-explanatory. I have a pencil sharpener for my colored pencils. I like having a really sharp tip on my colored pencils, so this gets used quite frequently because I do not like having dull lead. It makes my sketches look really, really flat and really bad, and I don't like using them, so I'm using this a lot. And then this is just a chapstick. It's always good to have chapstick with me because I always forget to have chapstick on me, and so my lips are always really dry. So I've found that having chapstick in my pencil pouch just kind of helps me to remember to put it on more often, so my lips aren't nearly, you know, as dry and cracked as they usually are. So yeah, and then like I said, some regular graphite pencils. I do take this to class with me, so these are a must when, you know, working on stuff in class, because I don't want to be using my colored pencils when I'm filling out a worksheet for my science classes. So yep, that's the first compartment. Let me just put this stuff away real quick, and we can see what's in the second compartment. Okay, so the second compartment in this pencil case is filled entirely with pens. That should be in there. And the reason why the second compartment is filled entirely with pens is because I do a lot of inking. So whenever I do, you know, sketches in my sketchbook, I do enjoy going over the lines that I sketched with ink and making the sketches look a bit more polished. I think inking sketches is a great way to kind of practice, you know, getting a steadier hand. Inktober really, really helped me in terms of improving at inking drawings. I used to be so bad at inking drawings. I used to have such a shaky line. I used to have to go over things with like whiteout to make it look better because I was just so unsure of myself when it came to inking. So doing Inktober definitely helped me in that field, but it also, you know, made me realize how much I just enjoy inking with pens, especially finer tipped pens. As you can see, these are all Micron pens. I used to not like Microns, but I think the reason why I didn't like them before was because I didn't know how to use them properly. So now that I've kind of figured out how to properly use them, I like using them a lot. My favorite is the Pigma Micron pen size. It's this one. It's not, hold on, let me find another one. It's not a felt tip like some of the other types of Pigma Micron pens. It's like a plastic tip like this. And I really enjoy using it because A, I don't destroy these pens as easily as I do felt tips, and B, I think these pens, the pen size with the plastic nib, there's a lot more variability with like the line weight. It's kind of almost like having pen sensitivity with digital art. I can have either a really thin line or a really thick line, and I don't need to worry about constantly switching between different sizes of pens, although I do frequently use the felt tip pens and I do enjoy using them. But out of all of my Micron pens, the plastic pen nib is probably, actually not probably, easily my favorite. I do, however, very much enjoy using the Copic multi-liner. The only reason I don't have more of these is because Copics are expensive. I think this one pen right here cost me $12. I bought it at a shop down by my university, and I was wondering like, oh, well, things here are kind of expensive because it's a smaller art shop. It's like a mom and pop type shop. So I was thinking, oh, you know, their prices just must be a bit more expensive. So I bought the pen and tried it out and really liked it. And I went on Amazon and I found out that, no, the prices at the shop weren't inflated very much, and that was the typical price for a Copic multiliner, which I was very surprised but not surprised by, just because I know how expensive Copic is. They do have fantastic quality of supplies. However, with that high quality of supplies comes the need for you to spend more money on them. So it's a give and a take. I do enjoy using this. It is a 0.5 sized pen, which is a bit thick. I'm actually wishing that I had gotten the smaller size, because they had, was it a 0.3 or a 0.25? It was one of those two, but it was the smaller tip. But at the time I bought it, I was kind of into doing thicker line art. But now that I'm kind of getting into thinner line art and wanting my lines to be really thin and crisp, I find that I don't really use this very often, just because this gives me a very thick line, which is good for some occasions, but not so much for others. So yeah, I don't use it very often, but when I do use it, I do enjoy using it greatly. And then I have also a water brush and a Uniball Signo broad white gel pen that I use. I used it a couple of times during Inktober to kind of add some white details and contrasts to the ink illustrations I was making. And I don't use this very often, but when I do use it, I use the absolute crap out of it. Just because whenever I add details, I'm the kind of person that's like, why have 3 stars when you can have 15 stars? So yeah, so that is it for this pencil case. It's time to move into my other pencil case. So let's get into that. This right here is my second pencil case. It houses all of my lesser used supplies that I keep on my desk, so I don't use these supplies as nearly as often as I use the ones in this pencil case, but I use them often enough to warrant them a spot on my desk. So all of the things that I have in here I keep in this pencil case, and then I'll put it off to the side on my desk somewhere behind the camera. But let's get right into what I have in this little guy. And yes, if you're wondering, it does completely unravel, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So let's move this off to the side. So first things first, I have a bunch of alcohol markers. These aren't all of the alcohol markers I own. I own a couple others. I own another brand called Ohuhu, and then I have some more colors in this brand, which is Studio 71. And the reason why I like this brand a lot is because these markers have a brush nib, and that's the one thing that they have that I like more about them than Ohuhu markers. I do really like my Ohuhu markers, but I love being able to have the brush tip that you would normally only see on a Copic marker. So these are absolutely great. I love using them. I use them a lot in my sketchbook. These aren't really the kind of markers that you use for a finished piece, just because you can't really blend them very well. They might be a good Copic dupe, but they're not Copic markers, so they don't have all the same capabilities as Copic markers, unfortunately, but they're still really good. And if you're looking to get into alcohol markers, I would definitely recommend Studio 71. They've got a wide array of colors, and they're really easy to use, they're really affordable, and they're just really, really, really great. So let's move these off to the side. Next up, I have my Tombow brush markers. These I don't remember specifically where I got each and every one. Some of them were gifts from friends, others I bought for myself, but I really enjoy using Tombow markers. They're really nice, especially if I want to do brush lettering. But they also have really bright and like vivid colors, so they are a really, really good supply to have if you enjoy doing things like brush lettering, or if you want some like really bright and like vibrant colors with like if you want like bright and vibrant colors on like your sketch or whatever. They are a little bit hard to control. However, having this smaller nib on the other side makes doing things like, you know, coloring smaller areas or doing line art really, really easy. So these are really, really great. I don't know if I'll get more Tombow markers in the future. I don't really use them often enough as I do some of my other art supplies, so I don't think I'll be buying more anytime soon. However, if you are debating whether or not you want to look into getting some Tombow markers or Tombow brush pens, whatever you call them, I would highly recommend these because these are really, really good. And the very last thing that I have in my pencil case is this black brush pen. It's like an India ink, like bristle brush pen that I bought a while ago. And I don't really use this very often, but I do enjoy using it just because I love the way like the ink flows out of the pen, and I love the way it looks on paper. But this takes so long to dry that whenever I use this, I always end up smudging something. So yeah, it's a bit tricky to get used to, but it is definitely well worth it. And I don't really remember where I got it from. I bought it on Amazon or something, so I'll have to look into maybe finding out where I got it, but you can probably find something very similar on Amazon. And this is the large tip, and I do have a medium-sized tip that I use a bit more regularly, but this is a really, really good thing to just kind of have around if you want to color in like big areas of black. So that is it for this week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed getting a sneak peek into what I hold in my pencil cases. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys like to keep in your pencil cases. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel. More content coming every Monday and Thursday. Monday are vlogs, and Thursday are just little arty videos like these, and so much more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all next time. Bye!